Okay, it's working. So what? Something went wrong? What do you mean? There we go. Okay. Excellent connection. Ooh, there I am. Hi. It looks good too. I like that. There's a bit of a lag there. Okay. Whew. I am nervous. This is good. So, live streaming is a skill, a very difficult skill that a lot of people don't understand at all how hard it is to do something like this. There's I've got my fair share of critics that definitely don't make their own content, and so don't really have room to speak about how good mine is, but they do so anyway. So this whole setup here that I got going on, this is obviously to demonstrate a point. You might be able to guess what direction that's going. So these are all artists' depictions of what the Shroud of Turin is showing. So that's the I don't know if they hired people to do it or some artists did it out of because they wanted to, but they obviously did a really good job, all three of them. Maybe it was one artist that did multiple versions of it, but it seems like he was pretty sure what the Shroud of Turin was showing, because all three of those seem to be showing the same general configuration. He was very, if it was just one guy that did three different ones, he was very confident what the Shroud of Turin's face would have looked like, because it was like a kind of like a photograph's negative. It was kind of hard to see what, and if it was three different artists that all had such similar looking fellas, that's also interesting too. But what I find interesting is how much it resembles this guy right here. So whatever, whether the Shroud of Turin is legit or not, it's very, very likely that that you're looking at that fella that was wrapped in that cloth. So at the top, let me address what it says at the top there. I am not a proponent of Christianity. I think it is ridiculous, bordering on stupid, and it's kind of like a cop-out too. It's like, oh, I don't have any responsibility for myself because this guy paid for my sins, so I can just go ahead and do whatever because this guy's already got me covered. No torturing anybody to death is gonna pay for another person's foul deeds. That is retarded. So, and also, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you're supposed to worship Jesus. You're supposed to worship God. Jesus is not God. That's another thing that they got wrong. If anything, he was somewhat of a spokesperson for God, because he felt that God spoke to him and he wanted to tell everybody else what he got told. That's and that's not a superhuman thing. Everybody is capable of channeling, I believe, but if not everybody's capable, certainly plenty of people are channeling, and that is something a normal human is capable of. But let's address the miracles now. I'm convinced that they were symbolic. I'm also convinced that the stories that were written down weren't necessarily like 100% accurate. That it was hundreds of years after the guy died that they decided to write some stories down about him. Now, obviously, they're going to leave out any of the negative things that ever happened. But obviously he probably got sick and had diarrhea. We could anybody's lifetime is going to contain some diarrhea, right? It's going to have some gassiness. It's going to have some vomiting, some drunken, embarrassing stuff, some masturbation. Anybody's life is going to include a lot of things that people aren't attributing to this guy. They're making him out, putting him up on some pedestal like he's superhuman. He's not like the rest of us. He's on a whole different level, and that's just not the way it was, in my belief. But obviously the dude existed. The Jews agree he existed. The Muslims agree he existed. Of course, the Christians too, and the Mormons. Like, everybody's in agreement that the guy existed. So, but he just wasn't supposed to be worshipped. It doesn't say anywhere to worship him. He never said himself he wanted you to worship him. The closest that there is to him saying something like that was when he said to do this in remembrance of me for the Passover. But come on now, I was born on the Passover, like son of a bitch. So yeah, nice on 14 and April 14 are the same thing. Also, the year I was born, even though Passover falls on a different day every year, Passover did fall on the day of the night I was born. It says on the 13th, but the Passover, because it's a full moon related thing, I consider it to be like a nighttime thing, and it was the night between the 13th and 14th that I was born. So if the Passover fell on the 13th the year I was born, I consider that close enough. The 12th wouldn't have been close enough. The 15th wouldn't have been close enough, but the 13th and 14th both work. So because it fell on the 13th and I was born technically on the 14th, I don't really see that as much of a issue. So, and then, obviously, I was also told that by God himself, so I don't think I was lied to, considering how I'm a dead ringer for the Shroud of Turin, right? Like, come on now. Like, I don't expect you to believe any of this shit. I just expect you to not be mad at me for thinking it's probably true. You understand? Like, even if it's only 1% possible, if there's a 1% possibility that it's true, then everything changes for me. I can no longer just keep going like that doesn't matter. But it doesn't have to change your life at all. So please, if you don't agree and you don't like the idea, I don't want you to care about it then. You can just disregard it and continue doing whatever the hell you want to do. Like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Anyway, let me just quit there. If you have any questions, please let me know down below.